Welcome back to episode 43 of Los Angeles Rams franchise, which is the continuation of round one of the 2023 NFL draft. If you checked out last episode, it was a big one for the Los Angeles Rams as we traded up Deontay Harris and 2 first-round picks for first overall from the Arizona Cardinals. Check out that episode as on the screen. Go check that out and see what happens as we traded up to get the first overall pick. So now let's move into the second round and our 30th pick overall. And now we are going to take a look at getting some depth into our defense. I like the wide receivers, but we did just select Quinn Bright in the end of the first round, so we're going to look at the defense and Damon Clowney or Damon Clowney or Demon Clowney. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's probably Damon or Damon. I don't know. I'm going to say Damon. Damon Clowney is the pick that we are going to add to our defense. I like his speed. I like his speed rushing ability. He's 6'4", 245. He's a big hitter at 79, 87 speed. We can move him into that defensive end speed rusher position, and he could be a supplanter of Samson Ebukam eventually in the long run. But out of Ole Miss, Damon Clowney or Damon Clowney is coming to the Los Angeles Rams. And so we're going to move on to our next pick in the third round, 10th overall. And we have a lot of selections here, but I did want to hit up on the defensive side of the ball. We have an amazing defensive line, but at defensive tackle, which I touched upon earlier, we're going to add Darnell Jeffries out of Clemson. He's a 6'2", 291-pound, 22-year-old defensive tackle out of Clemson. DJ Uiagalelei's former teammate, and we're going to bring him in. 71 overall. Chevin Cordero, the quarterback out of Hawaii, goes to the Cowboys at the 12th overall pick in the third, and Nalu Emerson, another Hawaii Warrior, goes to the Cowboys in the fourth round at the 12th overall pick. So they go back-to-back Warriors at the Cowboys. That is great to see the Hawaii Warriors bringing in more prospects. So we're at the fourth round pick in the fourth round, 14th overall for the Rams, and this is going to be a pick that I'm going to go a little bit off the board. And with this pick, it looks like I could go with Darius Muasau, the middle linebacker out of Hawaii. But you know what? I want him to have his own career in this career mode in the be a GM in the franchise. So I'm going to take a look at Dontrell Finch, which is a computer generated player. He's 24. He's a bit old, but he's 6'8", 215. And 4'4" in the 40, and so let's bring him in. He's a guy I have no idea about, but he's 92 speed and 6'8", 94 in jumping, which is his big strengths, and he's got an aggressive catch. So I think I could use him in the red zone, have DJ Uiagalelei just toss up dimes in the end zone, and hopefully Dontrell Finch, the 6'8" wide receiver, can bring him down. So we're in the fourth round still at the 30th overall pick, and because of the fact that we moved Cam Akers out of the roster, we're going to have to bring in a depth running back, and that is going to be Sincere McCormick, the 5'9", 210-pound elusive back out of University of Texas, San Antonio. I've been following this guy since he's been a freshman in real life. I like his speed. He's a little scat back. He's a good catching running back out of the backfield. He's 67 catch, which is not great, but he is a nice little scat back that can catch the ball. Darius Muasau goes to the Chicago Bears in the fifth round, so I'm pretty happy about that. And let's go with the 6th round pick at the 30th, and because we got rid of Sam Sloman in the free agency. We're going to just let him go. Let's take a look at the kicking units. And there's Cade York, 6'6", 240 out of Idaho State, a computer-generated kicker. And we're going to take him. And he comes out to be a 75 overall, which is pretty nice to see. He's got those long locks. And I'm going to make up a story for him. I like to think of a story that he's like some Australian kicker that came over and got a scholarship, and he was a punter and kicker for Idaho State, and then he was a powerhouse, but he's got great kicking power, no accuracy. We made a trade for the second to last pick in the 7th round. Why? No reason. Get rid of Jake Butt off our salary and don't really need him anymore. And we're going to pick up Kai Kaneshiro out of Hawaii. I had to pick up another Hawaii guy. He's a low depth cornerback, 67 overall, 6'2", 190 pounds. Good acceleration, good speed. Just a guy that we can put out in then maybe a depth role. And, it's the second to last pick in the draft, so it's really a low-risk pick. So let's take a look at our draft recap. We got DJ Uiagalelei, 80 overall quarterback, number 1 overall. Quinn Bright, Damon Clowney, Darnell Jeffries, Dontrell Finch, 6'8" wide receiver out of Eastern Washington. Sincere McCormick, running back, scat back out of UTSA. Cade York, the Aussie kicker out of Idaho State. Big guy with a huge cannon of a leg, no accuracy though. And Kai Kaneshiro, the wide cornerback out of Hawaii, in the second to last pick in the last round. And now take a look at the draft recap. We saw the first round last episode, and seeing the first 5 picks overall. Keely Ringo goes to the Seattle Seahawks. Miles Murphy to the Indianapolis Colts. And then we have Julian Fleming from Ohio State to Tampa Bay, hook up with Spencer Rattler. Big time talent in the first round. Again, this was not a draft class. I created the players myself. I took a former draft class and I edited some of the players like Quinn Bright, and I added some of the Hawaii players because I want them into the storyline, but I don't want to have them all on my team, so I didn't want to be a Hawaii homer, but I'm a huge Hawaii fan, so I want to bring them into this storyline. So I added them to the draft, but they all aren't big time players. Quinn Bright is a good talent. I think he's a good talent in real life as well. He's a little misguided right now in his career, but I think he could have been a huge talent for Hawaii. So that's why I'm bringing him into this storyline, bringing a little bit more fantasy into it. I hope you are enjoying it. He's going to be hopefully a big time talent for us to hook up with DJ Uiagalelei, and hopefully we have a nice offensive threat to back up and balance our defensive powerhouse that we have. And maybe we can be back and maybe get to the Super Bowl, get over the hump of the Giants. And hope you're enjoying the draft recap. We got Damon Demis, 78 overall, goes to Jacksonville Jaguars. We got Zach Zinter to block for Patrick Mahomes out in Kansas City. JSN from Ohio State goes to the Green Bay Packers, which finally get them a weapon, and now Aaron Rodgers isn't there. So nice to see the Packers finally listening to the quarterback, and it's not Aaron Rodgers. Chance Williams, last pick of that trade that went up to get the first overall pick from the Rams. Chance Williams is the last pick of that, the 23rd, and they got 16th as well. Nathan Pickering, the defensive tackle out of Mississippi State, goes to the Broncos. And it looks like we have Quinn Bright coming up at the 30th overall, and big speedster wide receiver, a little speedster wide receiver out of Hawaii, Derek Wingo, the middle linebacker out of Tennessee, 69 overall, probably the worst pick in the first round. Unfortunately for the Steelers, they probably took the worst pick out of Derek Wingo. And so let's take a look at the first round. Who was the best player? Who was the worst? The worst was Derek Wingo at 69 overall out of Tennessee, the middle linebacker, 31st pick. And then Eric Gilbert, the best player in the draft, went 12th overall to the Dallas Cowboys. Marshawn Lloyd, the best pick in the second round, 24th overall to the Buffalo Bills. These are a bit high of overall grades. Like I said, I didn't create these guys, and so I probably should have paid more attention to this, but you know what? It's a bit more fantasy in this now. Trying to still have some realism, but also bring in some good players so the teams aren't real shitty. The worst pick in the second round is Birch, 71 overall, and McDuffie, also 71 overall. Pierce Quick goes to the Chargers, 3rd overall in the second round. And so let's take a look at the best pick is Bijan Robinson and Marshawn Lloyd, the 2 top running backs, 4th and 24th. Worst pick in this 3rd round was Jalen Duncan, left tackle out of Maryland, and Jonah Tawanau out of Oregon, the right tackle, goes to the Chargers, 3rd. And JT Daniels, 68 overall, and Nakobe Dean, Falcon Kalmatele, left guard out of Utah. I actually was targeting him. I love that name, but he was not very high in overall. And then take a look at the top picks in the 3rd round. Javian Hawkins, Wan'Dale Robinson, a huge speedster out of Nebraska, 28th pick in the 3rd, a big grab. A nice overall for him, and he had 98 speed. Chevin Cordero goes 12th overall in the 3rd round, and he's 7'2". He's going to have a nice chance to go into Dallas and be a nice player for them. He's going to get to pass to Eric Gilbert, the best player in this draft. Harrison Bailey goes to the Eagles and might have a chance to start in a couple seasons. CJ Stroud, the highly talked about recruit for Ohio State, ends up going in the 3rd round, probably because he just had a lackluster college career. Storm Duck, the other big time cornerback for North Carolina, goes to the Vikings. And then we have the 3rd round, just looking at the rest of the picks, and Jalen Duncan, the worst pick in the draft. Best pick in the 4th round is Xavier Henderson, the wide receiver out of Florida. Wide receivers was very, very deep in this draft. As you can see, Marcus Roseme, even 72 overall. Nalu Emerson, free safety, goes to the Cowboys in the 4th round. Again, another Hawaii Warrior goes to the Cowboys. And then the rest of the 4th round, Sincere McCormick, our pick, 30th overall, 69 overall, a little scat back, 90 speed. I like him. I'm going to bring him in and give him some good reps and relief of Travis Etienne. Then in the 5th round, the best pick is Tyler Smith, and then McKinley Jackson, and we are going over the 5th round. A lot of lower end picks, but still good players. Worst pick in the draft was in the 5th round was a 64. That's Tyler Smith. And then looking at the worst picks so far, and then going to the 6th round, we got Cade York, best kicker in the draft, 6th round. He's going to be a nice addition to our team. Hopefully he will be able to kick those long extra points that Sam Sloman just could never fucking do. And then take a look at the worst picks of the 6th round. Not a lot of good talent in the rest of the 6th round. And then the 7th round, the worst pick was a 62 overall offensive lineman. And then the best picks was a 68 Kai Kaneshiro, 67 overall, 31 overall. And then Youngblood, lowest pick, the Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, still a higher overall grade than the higher picks in the 7th round. And that's going to be the end of this episode. We're going to have all of preseason next episode, so check out that one. It's a little short one, but we are wrapping up the 2023 NFL Draft. Smash like down below, hit subscribe, and thank you for supporting Dynasty Central Sports. Thank you, and hit us up on Instagram or Twitter as well. We'll see you for the preseason of Season 4 and the start of DJ Uiagalelei's era in Los Angeles. We'll see you later.